Yeah, good afternoon. This is the fifth video lesson of magnetic effect of current. In previous chapters, particularly in the last class, we started a toroid, where a circular solenoid is known as a toroid, and because of lack of time, we could not complete it. So let me redraw the diagram of toroid quickly once again. So these are the borders where I am going to fit my toroid. So the windings are like this. In fact, they are very close to each other, like this. So a current I will go here. So it will be threading through the circular coils like this. So finally it will go like this and it will come out as current I. Okay. Now this dotted line is nothing but the axis of the toroid. Fine. Now here, this is the center of the toroid. We call it as a O, and the mean radius of this toroid is, mean radius from the center of the coils to center of the toroid is capital R. Now we considered a point P here, somewhere at a distance R from the center, where we wanted to calculate the magnetic field. For this, the Ampere circuit law demands that you draw an Amperian loop. So what is this? This one is Amperian loop. So number one is Amperian loop. Law says that the line integral of B dot dl equals to mu naught into IE, that is current enclosed by the Amperian loop. Now current is threading in the toroid like this, in the turnings, but Amperian loop is drawn well inside. So therefore, the IE factor for point P, IE equals to 0. Therefore, line integral of B dot dl equals to mu naught into 0, that equals to 0. dl can never be 0, so therefore B can be 0. So B at point P is going to be 0. Okay, right. Now we consider another point here, which we call it as a Q, where Q is located at distance what? R. Now the dotted line which we have drawn as axis, that itself will become the Amperian loop. So let me name it as 2. So 2 is also an Amperian loop. Amperian loop. Okay. Now this will enclose a current I. This will enclose a current I. So line integral of B dot dl equals to mu naught into IE, where dl is the element of Amperian loop. Now if you consider a small element dl, this is dl on the Amperian loop, the direction of dl will be like this, it's a tangent, and even the magnetic field tangent also will be pointing in the same direction. Therefore here B dl mu naught I may, let me write another step, B dl cos theta equals to mu naught into IE. So theta equals to 0 degree, and we have to calculate what is the current enclosed by the Amperian loop. So each loop is carrying a current I. Each loop is carrying a current I. So therefore there are capital N number of turns. Total number of turns is how many? N number of total turns. So these N number of turns that are cut by or associated by or linked by this Amperian loop will have the total current N into I. This is very important to understand. Each loop will be threading with a current I. Like that, side by side, there are n number of loops, n number of turns. So total current enclosed by the Amperian loop is current enclosed by each loop multiplied by total number of turns. So this will be n into I. Then this step will be written as line integral B dl cos 0 degree equals to mu naught into n into I. Now cos 0 will become what? 1. Cos 0 will become what? 1. B is the magnetic field at every point on the Amperian loop. So all these points have a circular symmetry. So therefore by symmetry all these points will have the same magnetic field. So B is going to be a constant. So line integral of dl cos 0 is 1 equals to mu naught into n into I. So now this will be B into line integral of dl. dl is a small element on the Amperian loop, where Amperian loop has got a radius of capital R. Therefore if you add all these dl's, you will get the circumference of the Amperian loop. So that is nothing but B into 2 pi R equals to mu naught into capital N into I. So we are now trying for B. So B is on the left side. So mu naught into N divided by 2 pi R. I am taking 2 pi R this side into I. So this is the final expression, magnetic field along the axis. So what is the direction of this magnetic field means? Now it is current is threading like this. So if you hold this turn upwards like this, okay, the field will be going in the clockwise direction. Okay, now N by 2 pi R can be replaced with a single term mu naught into N into I, where N is nothing but number of turns per unit length. There in the, if you make it straight, it will have a length L. Okay, then small n will become capital N by L. The same length solenoid, if you bend it in the form of a circle, the L, the length of the straight solenoid, will become the circumference of the toroid. So this N will become N by 2 pi R. So therefore, how much a straight solenoid produces magnetic field along the axis? The same magnetic field could be produced by a toroid along its own axis. Only the difference is that this magnetic field is having a circular symmetry, whereas that magnetic field will have a linear symmetry. So you can have a north pole and south pole there. So if I open this and keep it like this along the length of the board on the plane, it will be like this. This is called straight solenoid, and the direction of magnetic field will be like this. This is the pattern. So this will become north pole and this will become south pole of the magnetic field. But as it is, the north and south, both of them are clubbing in a circular symmetry. You don't have any polarity. Where is the north polarity? Where is the south polarity for these field lines? So remember that, children, magnetic field should not all times not necessarily to have north pole and south pole. There are some circular magnets. You cannot decide which is the north pole and which is the south pole. North and south poles can be judged only for a bar magnet or a horseshoe magnet. But circular or spherical magnets, there is no north pole and there is no south pole. Similarly, this magnetic field is now field symmetry is field pattern, rather I like right, sir. Field pattern is circular. Fine. So now we have made calculation only along the axis. Now if I consider any point here, so this I have taken Q, I take it as what? R. I am interested to calculate magnetic field at point R. And then what I do? I draw an Amperian loop. This is my Amperian loop. Children, you can see that this is 3. So 3 is also an Amperian loop. 3 is also Amperian loop. It encloses entire toroid. Therefore, we feel as if this is enclosing a total current I. So therefore, it should have a magnetic field at point R. But that is not correct. Okay. Now let me give you one demonstration for this. Now we have a coil like this. Like this. Suppose this is our toroid, so this will continue like this. It will continue like this. Maybe a solenoid, no problem. So this is the beginning end and this is the closing end of the toroid. Now I am sending current here. So it will go like this. And this is my first turn. Is this clear? This is my first turn. So current is going like this. So at the bottom of this circular coil, current is going like this. It is coming now upwards. And at the top, it is going downwards. And this is my second one. This is my second loop. So in first loop, at the bottom, it is going downwards. And it is coming like this. And it will go like this. And here also in the second loop, at the bottom, it is going upwards. So at the bottom of all these circular coils placed side by side, the current is going in the upward direction. And on the top, the current is going in the downward direction. I repeat, at the bottom of all these circular coils of the toroid, the current is going in the upward direction as per our direction of current. So current is going in the upward direction. So when the same current comes over here, it will go downwards. So it is like this and it is like this. So at the bottom, current is going upwards. At the top, current is going downwards. This is same with all the turns which are placed. Now, to calculate the magnetic field along the axis, I have to imagine, I have to first consider a point P. Okay, about that point P, I have to draw an Amperian loop. For example, this wire, white color, okay, now this, let me think that this is my Amperian loop. Right, this is my Amperian loop. You see children, it is enclosing the coils which are below the wire, not above the wire. So these parts cannot be enclosed by this wire, which is nothing but what Amperian loop. So it can enclose only the semicircles which are below it, below the axis. Clear? Now, all these coils which are carrying current in the upward direction, they will add up now. So therefore, this will become N into I. This part I am discussing now. This part I am discussing. So there are N number of turns. All the turns are carrying the current in the same direction. That is, they are carrying in the upward direction. So all of them will add up. So this will be N into I. So therefore, the calculation will be like this. Okay? Right. Now what I do, I am taking the point 3 here. This third Amperian loop. Where is third Amperian loop? It is well outside the toroid. So this is my toroid. Now I am imagining a point here. I am imagining a point here. So to calculate magnetic field at this point P or R, I should draw an Amperian loop. I should draw an Amperian loop. Amperian loop, how it should be? It should be like this. Children, it should be along the length of this one. Like this. This is the Amperian loop, third Amperian loop. Now children, this third Amperian loop, which is white in color in the demonstration, not only encloses the lower part of the circle, but also encloses the upper part of the circle. Am I clear? This white wire, which is my Amperian loop, is enclosing not only the lower portion, lower semicircle of the circular coil, but also encloses the upper semicircle. I told you the lower semicircle is carrying current in the upward direction, whereas upper will be carrying the current in the downward direction. Therefore, as far as your Amperian loop is concerned, the current going in the upward direction is cancelled by the current coming in the downward direction. So therefore, the net current enclosed by Amperian loop for any particular loop is going to be 0. I repeat, the net current enclosed by the Amperian loop of any particular loop any particular coil. For this coil, the current is going in the upward direction, it is coming in the downward direction. So this current and this current will be cancelled as far as Amperian loop concept is concerned. So therefore, the net current enclosed by this third Amperian loop is going to be 0. Am I clear? Right. For a point inside the axis, now this Amperian loop, the white one, will enclose only the lower portions of the semicircles. Whereas for this third Amperian loop, it encloses not only the lower semicircles but also encloses upper semicircles. Therefore, the current at the bottom, current at the top of a particular coil cancelled out. So IE will become what? 0. This is the reason why the current enclosed by third Amperian loop is 0. So IE equals to 0 for point for point R. Then integral V dot dl equals to mu naught into IE, that is mu naught into 0, that equals 0. So dl cannot be 0, therefore V can be what? 0. So at which points you have the magnetic field due to a toroid means inside the toroid in the interior part. This is called entire interior part. From O to this dotted line, this entire interior part, okay, it cannot have any magnetic field. Exterior part of the toroid also cannot have any magnetic field. Where is the magnetic field? Magnetic field will exist only along the axis of the toroid. How much? B equals to mu naught into N into I. What is N? Capital N by 2 pi R. So this is also going to be a uniform magnetic field, but its direction is a circular sense. Whereas a straight solenoid will produce a linear magnetic field. This produces a circular magnetic field. Clear? So this is about what? Toroid. Fine. Alright, so now conclusion is B equals to mu naught N by L into I equals to mu naught N into I for straight solenoid. B equals to mu naught into N divided by 2 pi R into I. Again mu naught N into I. Two formulae appear to be what? Same. But you should be careful whether it is toroid or solenoid. Accordingly, small n is to be changed. This is called toroidal solenoid. Or simply you can call it as a toroid. So both of them will produce uniform magnetic field. This magnetic field is what? Linear magnetic field. This magnetic field is called what? Circular magnetic field. So these are the distinctions. Distinguish between the magnetic field pattern of a solenoid and a toroid, or draw some similarities and differences between the fields means this much only you can write. Okay, so draw the pattern. Pattern means for solenoid you will be drawing like this solenoid, straight solenoid, and this is for toroid. Okay, solenoid B and this is toroid B. So with this now we have completed the two laws, Biot-Savart's law and Ampere-Circuital law. Okay, these many applications are also only there. For that we have taken the example of circular coil. There we made two calculations. One is field at the center, mu naught I by 2 pi R whole multiplied by capital N number of turns. and field at any point on the axial line, that is mu naught I by 2 into r square by x square plus r square whole to the power of 3 by 2. Of course, if it has n number of turns, it also can be multiplied by n. So there are two calculations are made for coil using Biot-Savart's law. Using Ampere circuital law, we made calculation for magnetic field outside the straight conductor, inside the straight conductor. Okay, this is one part. Second part is we calculated magnetic field due to a straight solenoid, and we also calculated magnetic field due to a toroidal solenoid or simply a toroid. Okay, so some simple numericals will be asked on the basis of solenoid and toroid. Okay, every data will be available. Simply what you should do, you have to use the formula. For example, you have a solenoid, straight solenoid, whose length is say 80 centimeter and radius is say 1.0 or 1 centimeter or 1.5 centimeter. So compared to its diameter, length is very large. In such cases, you can apply this formula B equals mu naught In, and it consists of total number of turns, say 300 or 900, you take 900 turns it has. If you pass a current of I equals to 5 ampere, calculate the magnetic field along the center. If it is straight solenoid, you use this formula B equals mu naught into N into I, where mu naught into N is nothing but N divided by L into I. So here radius matters nothing. Radius matters only for the consideration of the equation, that is B equals to mu naught N into I. For example, children, if it is given in the problem that it has got a 50 centimeter radius, then this formula you cannot apply. This we have derived considering that the length of the solenoid is large as compared to its diameter. Then only you can use this formula. So for this condition, L equals 80 centimeter, R equals 50 centimeter, B equals to mu naught into N into I cannot be applicable. So what is the use of the radius given in the problem, sir? It's waste? No, not waste. It is only to bring you the conceptual understanding that the radius of the solenoid is very small as compared to its length. Therefore, you can go with this formula. So that formula only I have written here. Okay. What is mu naught value? 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 SI unit. Number of turns is 900. Length is 80 centimeter. 80 by 100. Meters में convert करना. Everything should be in the SI system. Into I is how much? 5 ampere. So calculate the answer you will get in Tesla. When you write full form, use small t. When you write symbol, use capital T. So this is about the solenoids and toroids. Okay, right. Toroids are also known as Tesla coils. These Tesla coils are used in car ignitions. And whereas solenoids and toroids, both of them can be used in televisions. Now plasma television, LED television, so many things have come. Okay, so slowly we are going out of this solenoidal concept. And you might have heard, children, when you are very young, maybe in 4th or 5th class like that, CERN बोल के एक जगह में LHC, Large Hadron Collider, to discover the God's particle जो है Higgs boson. Did you remember? Higgs boson, Higgs, Higgs boson. Bose ion is nothing but boson. Okay, so Bose is Indian scientist Jagdish Chandra Bose in his name only. Okay, as he did some work in collaboration with this one, the name is given as boson in the honor of Sir Jagdish Chandra Bose. So in order to trace this Higgs boson, popularly known as a God's particle, scientists they have conducted the experiments maybe 5-6 kilometers down the earth with huge electric fields and magnetic fields. So in LHC collider, okay, scientists are using the toroids and solenoids in order to create heavy magnetic fields. Okay, so this is the information I can give you about this. Right. Now we will go to the other part of this chapter, that is nothing but force on a charge. Force on a charge in a magnetic field. This was a question raised by Tushar. Tushar, your question is very advanced. Now you just listen to this topic, you will understand what will be the force. Children, you have learnt about force on electric charge in the electric field. Okay. How did you write that? Force F equals to Q into E. Where from you brought it, sir? I did not bring it from anywhere. It is a definition of electric field. Force per unit charge is known as electric field. So therefore, force is nothing but charge multiplied by electric field. Electric field is a vector quantity. Force is also a vector quantity. You see, children, in this expression, it is similar to like F equals to MA. But terms are not, you cannot compare, but similar, it is similar. Okay, right. Now, in this equation, children, you will see that there is no velocity component involved. That means you have an electric field, like this. You have a charge Q here. Definitely this charge will experience a force given by this one. Okay, this will experience F equals to Q into E. Now, this field I have created using parallel plates. This side I made positive and this side I made negative. So field between these two plates is going to be uniform, extending from positive to negative. That's why I call it as a uniform electric field. Now, how can I produce a uniform magnetic field? How can I produce a uniform magnetic field? You have seen, children, now B equals to mu naught IN. B equals to mu naught N into I is a uniform magnetic field which is distance independent. So distance का कोई बात ही नहीं है. Every जगह you will have the same magnetic field. So how do you produce this magnetic field? बोले तो you have a solenoid. When you pass current along the axis of this solenoid, you have a uniform magnetic field. So now, therefore now I draw a uniform magnetic field. So this I call it as what? B, and this I call it as what? E. Now a similar charge Q I am going to place here. Do you expect this to experience a force? No. This will not experience a force. This will experience force only when it is set into motion. A moving particle always is associated with velocity, momentum. Whether it has acceleration or not, that is immaterial. But these two things will be there always with it. What are they? It will have the velocity, it will have the momentum. So when this particle Q is moved in the magnetic field B with a velocity V, it experiences a force given by F equals to QV cross B. You observe these two equations, children, equation 1 and equation 2, you will find a lot of difference. What is that lot? That lot is nothing but this velocity. If you make this velocity 0, that is 0 velocity means charge is at rest, then what will happen? This entire equation on the right side will become 0. That is, force on a charge at rest in a magnetic field will be 0. It experiences force only when it has some velocity. And here there is a cross product, children. A cross B equals AB sin theta. That is QVB sin theta. What is theta? Theta is the angle between velocity vector and field vector. Velocity vector and field vector. This is angle theta. अगर by chance ये velocity इस तरफ दिया है, theta will become 0. So here sin 0 will become 0. So entire equation will become what? 0. So first thing is the charge at rest experiences a 0 force. Means in the magnetic field, if you place a charge at rest, it cannot have any force. The magnetic force will be what? 0. Okay. When does it experience force? It experiences force only when it moves. How should it move? It should not move parallel or anti-parallel to the field. If it moves parallel to the field, theta will become 0, sin 0 is 0, entire force will become 0. Anti-parallel means opposite direction, then sin 180, theta will become 180 degree, sin 180 is also going to be what? 0. So then also it will experience a force. So V should not be 0. V should not be parallel to field. V should not be anti-parallel to field. For other than these three cases, it experiences force for any case. for any case. The how much force it experiences means it experiences a force of QVB sine theta. This is the magnitude. This is the magnitude. And this force is known as, children, Lorentz magnetic force in the name of the scientist. Lorentz magnetic force. So today's topic is force on a charge in a magnetic field. You can note down. Force on a charge in a magnetic field. Force on a charge in a magnetic field. So now let me create a magnetic field, children. How do I create? This I can create with the help of a solenoid, straight solenoid. So this is B. Now here I have a charge Q. Charge Q. What is this charge Q, sir? It can be an electron, it can be a proton, it can be an alpha particle, any charged particle. So now I am firing this with the velocity V at an angle theta. Okay, so three factors are there, 1, 2, 3. Principle of homogeneity says that you cannot add them. Principle says that physical quantities of same nature only can be added. So what else you can do? You can multiply or divide. So division is nothing but a sort of multiplication. So therefore force F equals to QV cross B is only multiplication. So this is called Lorentz magnetic force. Lorentz magnetic force. So magnitude of the force F equals to QVB sine theta. Magnitude of Lorentz force. Magnitude of magnetic force. So magnitude wise you are clear. What about the direction? Direction will be given by direction of magnetic force or magnetic Lorentz force by FLR. What is that? Fleming's left hand rule. You have studied in class 10th in electricity chapter. Stretch first three fingers of left hand so that they are mutually perpendicular. Forefinger points in the direction of field. Central finger points in the direction of current. Now its velocity. So thumb